Today, I am going to tell you methods for enhancing memory retention, a guide to natural foods and techniques for the elderly. The silent crisis. We're losing to the golden years. Picture Margaret, the lively 72-year-old grandmother with keys for her car in hand, anxiously scanning her head for where exactly she had left her car in the supermarket about an hour or so before. The alarm in her eyes reflects one of the fears of millions of elderly persons each day: the erosion of their most precious resource, their memories. What if I were to inform you that Margaret's story does not have to be the sole destiny of growing older? What if the key to maintaining, even enhancing one's memory in one's golden years is not in expensive medication or cutting-edge medicinal procedures, but rather in the foods of ancient origin, which have nurtured humans for millennia? Welcome to the groundbreaking adventure to redefine everything you believed about aging and memory. This is no standard health manual. It's your guide to regaining brain agility from the power of nature's most potent brain-boosting nutrients. We're about to demonstrate for you the manner in which the ideal combination of foods found in nature can reroute your mind, rebuild neural pathways, and restore the mental clarity and razor-sharp memory you thought you'd lost forever. The statistics are staggering and sobering. The world will have approximately 152 million people with dementia in the year 2050, nearly 3 times more than it has today. What the statistics don't tell is that most age-related impaired cognition is preventable. It is treatable. It is even reversible in most cases, with directed nutritional therapy. Chapter 1. Mastering memory is all about learning about the aging brain. Let us first approach the treasure chest of foods from memory with the awareness of the fantastic orchestra playing in each and every corner of our brain on each and every day of our lives. Memory isn't one process, but is rather a very intricate orchestra of brain processes that transform ephemeral happenings into lasting recollections. The 3-pound human brain is comprised of roughly 86 billion neurons, more than there are stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Each neuron shares about 3,000 others with it, and has more than 100 trillion synaptic connections with others. It is within the enormous neural net where memories are formed, consolidated, and retrieved. Memory is created in 3 stages: encoding, consolidation, and retrieval. Encoding is the process whereby sensory input is transformed into the usable format of the brain. This is where attention comes in. Without attention, information simply bounces off us, like rain droplets off the windshield. Consolidation is probably the most convincing stage. In it, transient brain patterns solidify into permanence through long-term potentiation. Firing of the neurons in sequence connects into tighter synaptic bonds together to create the substance of memory. Consolidation is heavily dependent on sleep, which is one reason why sleep is essential to memory formation. Retrieval is the process of switching on the identical neural roots formed initially during encoding and consolidation. Surprisingly, each time we recall a memory, we subtly change it, meaning memory is active rather than fixed process. As we age, the brain undergoes numerous changes that can impact on memory. The brain loses approximately 0.5% of its mass each year after age 60. This is primarily due to the loss in the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus, areas significant in memory, as well as in controlling the brain. Aging also causes lower blood flow into the brain, reducing the supply of oxygen as well as of nutrients into brain tissue. Production of neurotransmitters, chemical messengers which transmit signals from one neuron into another, is also reduced. Levels of acetylcholine, dopamine, and serotonin all drop, with the impact extending to all aspects of cognitive function. Indeed, the aging brain is also very plastic. Neuroplasticity, or the ability of the brain to reorganize and create new neural connections, continues through one's entire lifespan. This means that while certain cognitive functions decline, others can be maintained or even enhanced with proper nutrition, and lifestyle choices. Inflammation is the memory's secret enemy. Perhaps one of the largest advances in the field of neuroscience over the last 2 decades has been the role of long-term inflammation in impairing cognition. Acute inflammation, or the healthy response of the immune system in reaction to damage or infection, is quite distinct from chronic or long-term inflammation, being instead low-level chronic activation of the immune system with the ability to damage healthy tissue over time. In the brain, microglia, the immune cells of the brain, are triggered into action by chronic inflammation. When they are active nonstop, the cells release inflammatory chemicals that damage neurons and interfere with synaptic function. It has been associated with basically every type of cognitive impairment, ranging from mild memory loss to outright dementia. The upside is that all foods of plant origin carry with them some very potent anti-inflammatory compounds able to quell this inflammation in the brain, as well as maintain brain health. This is where the ride of memory-enhancing nutrition starts. Chapter 2: Science of Nutritional Neurology: How Food is Medicine. The blood-brain barrier, your brain's gatekeeper. To gain insight into how foods could impact memory, we must marvel at one of the most sophisticated security systems of the human body, the blood-brain barrier. The semi-permeable barrier works like a very discriminative doorman for a luxurious club, carefully sifting through which things can pass into the brain and which need to stay in the blood. A blood-brain barrier is formed of brain blood vessels, covered with tightly bound endothelial cells. These cells create tight junctions with each other, which prevent most substance passage through the barrier. The only things that can pass through the barrier are essential nutrients, gas, and certain medications through specialized processes. Certain foods that contain nutrients with brain-enhancing qualities pass through the blood-brain barrier directly or supplement the integrity of the essential protection system in one way or another. Some, like omega-3s, pass through the barrier with ease and directly affect the brain. Others, like antioxidants, perform the function of lowering body-wide inflammation, which indirectly has the effect of improving the brain. Neurotransmitters. The chemical messengers of memory eating directly affects the production and function of neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers by means of which brain cells talk to each other. There are several key neurotransmitters that are especially responsible for memory formation and memory retention. Acetylcholine has been dubbed the learning neurotransmitter because it sits in the middle of the processes of attention, learning, and memory. Acetylcholine itself is derived from the nutrient choline, which is found in fish, vegetables, and especially in eggs. Acetylcholine deficiency is associated with impaired memory and is one of Alzheimer's disease symptoms. Dopamine is essential for motivation, reward processing, and working memory. Dopamine is derived from the amino acid tyrosine, which is contained in protein foods like lean meat, fish, and legumes. Enough dopamine is necessary for maintaining concentration as well as cognitive flexibility. Serotonin is most well known for its function in mood, but it also plays important roles in memory consolidation processes as well as sleep, both of which are essential for maximal cognitive performance. Serotonin is derived from tryptophan, which is contained in turkey, eggs, and certain seeds. The major inhibitor neurotransmitter of the brain is gamma-aminobutyric acid, or GABA. It calms down neural activity and is needed for proper sleep, which is necessary for memory consolidating. Fermented foods and certain teas carry GABA. The mitochondrial link. Energizing memory at the cellular level. Neurons are among the most energy-hungry cells of the human body, with the energy coming from mitochondria, the cellular powerhouses that decompose nutrients into usable energy. The brain, only responsible for 2% of body weight, consumes approximately 20% of body energy. Mitochondrial activity decreases normally with age, causing decreased production of energy as well as increased oxidative damage. All types of cognitive, impairment, and most of the neurodegenerative diseases are caused or contributed to by mitochondrial damage. Certain nutrients can boost mitochondrial function and production of energy. Coenzyme Q10, required for mitochondrial function, is found in organ meat and in certain fish. Energy metabolism is central to the functions of the B vitamins, particularly B1, B2, and B3. Magnesium is needed to perform more than 300 enzymatically controlled functions, most of which in the mitochondria. Oxidative stress and antioxidant defense. Its high metabolic rate and rich oxygen supply make the brain particularly vulnerable to oxidative damage caused by reactive oxygen species, free radicals. Unstable molecules possess the ability to damage cellular components like DNA, lipids, and proteins. Though there is some amount of oxidative stress that is helpful, too much oxidative stress leading to chronicity triggers the occurrence of inflammation of the brain and loss of cognition. The body's internal defense against oxidative stress decreases with age, and that is where dietary antioxidants play their role. They function to neutralize the free radicals, thus preventing them from causing cellular damage. Antioxidants also support the body's endogenous defense machinery, including the enzymes catalase and superoxide dismutase. The foods with memory-improving properties that will be discussed are all rich in very active antioxidant compounds. Chapter 3. Nature's Brain. Powerhouses. The memory-improving powerhouses blueberries. The brain's purple powerhouse blueberries would be one of the top contenders for king of brain health should one food be crowned the king of brain health. The small purple jewels are filled with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidant molecules which turn blueberries blue-purple and possess mind-boggling levels of brain protection. Repeated studies have identified blueberry consumption as having a positive influence on memory in the elderly. In one seminal study released in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, older adults who consumed blueberry juice daily for 12 weeks scored better on memory tests compared to those who received a placebo pill. Blueberry's secret is penetrating the blood-brain barrier into areas of the brain involved with memory and learning, like the hippocampus. There, anthocyanins have several mechanisms through which they improve cognitive functions. First, it reduces the activation of microglia in order to prevent the release of inflammatory cytokines, thereby allowing the environment to support neural function and memory formation. Second, anthocyanins promote neuroplasticity through induction of the growth of new neurons, neurogenesis, and creation of new synaptic connections. They also enhance production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that acts as fertilizer for brain cells, stimulating them to grow and remain alive. Third, blueberries improve the blood flow into the brain, enabling brain cells to gain the oxygen and nutrients they require. Increased blood flow has been directly associated with enhanced mental performance and memory. Optimal daily serving. Size in support of brain function is most likely 1 cup of fresh blueberries or half of frozen blueberries. The frozen variety is identical in nutrients to the fresh version, with potentially increased antioxidant content due to the freezing itself breaking down the cell walls and increasing bioavailability of the nutrients. Older adults having difficulties chewing entire blueberries can also consume blueberry powder or freeze-dried blueberries as excellent substitutes. They can be easily added into yogurt, oatmeal, or smoothies. Their wild blueberry counterparts, which are more concentrated in flavor and of smaller size than cultivated blueberries, contain even more anthocyanins. If available, they provide even greater cognitive benefits, though all varieties of blueberries will benefit brain function. Blueberries have benefits extending past moment-to-moment cognitive enhancement. Blueberry consumption over the long term has been correlated with slowed cognitive aging and lower vulnerability to neurodegenerative disease. Basically, blueberries do more than improve short-term memory. They help maintain cognitive function far into the aging process. Fatty fish, swimming in omega-3 excellence. The human brain is approximately 60% fat, and the composition of the fats consumed directly impacts brain structure, as well as brain function itself. Among all the dietary fats, the omega-3 fatty acids have been found most crucial for mental health, with the richest dietary source in fatty fish. EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, are the two essential omega-3 fatty acids of brain function. DHA is particularly notable because it constitutes approximately 30% of the total fat of the brain and is packed tightly into neural membranes. There are several key functions of DHA in brain function. The fluidity of cell membranes is required for proper neurotransmitter signaling, and DHA provides it. Stiffened membranes, often caused through omega-3 deficiency, disrupt communication within neurons and also carry a negative impact on the process of memory formation. EPA, found in lower amounts in brain tissue, has strong anti-inflammatory actions. EPA reduces the creation of pro-inflammatory molecules and induces the creation of specialized pro-resolving mediators, active molecules that resolve inflammation and promote tissue repair. Salmon, particularly wild-caught salmon, is one of the most well-known sources of omega-3s. An average portion size of 3.5 ounces contains approximately 1.8 grams of omega-3s, far above the amount needed for the support of cognitive processes. Mackerel is another omega-3 superfood with even greater concentrations of omega-3s than salmon. With its rich, oily taste that is one acquired taste, it has undeniably brain-promoting qualities. Spanish mackerel is one that is particularly full of omega-3s but contains less mercury than several other fish with an oily consistency. All too frequently overshadowed in the West, sardines are nutrition gold mines. They have the omega-3s, minimal levels of mercury from their lower spot in the ocean food chain, and other brain-protecting nutrients in the form of selenium and vitamin B12. Canned sardines have the convenience, value, and long shelf life added. In order to make them the ideal addition into the daily routine, anchovies, which are full of powerful flavor, are extremely rich in omega-3s and can be added to several foods for added diet benefit. Small amounts can be of great benefit if used regularly in the kitchen. Herring is also an underrated fish with excellent omega-3 benefit and is often less costly than salmon. Pickled herring, with added sodium, retains its omega-3 benefit and can be utilized as a tasty substitute for addition to salads or eaten with whole grain crackers. Older adults who are concerned with taking in too much mercury need to choose lower food chain fish and therefore lower mercury fish. Sardines, anchovies, and herring are all good choices with lower levels of mercury, while shark, swordfish, and king mackerel need to be consumed in moderation. The minimum of 2 weekly servings is the American Heart Association's recommendation for overall health, but 3 or 4 servings would be more beneficial to gain the full cognitive benefits. The serving size should be approximately 3.5 ounces, such as the thickness of one's deck of cards. The preparation of fish can affect the omega-3s. Cooking methods like baking, poaching, or grilling are more effective in maintaining omega-3s intact than frying, which creates toxic chemicals during the process and strips the food of essential nutrients. Herbs and spices provide flavor with added antioxidant benefits. People who do not like fish or have dietary constraints can enjoy omega-3 benefits with good quality fish oil capsules. Yet, there are nutrients like protein, selenium, and vitamin D found in whole fish that cannot be supplied with supplements. Walnuts. The brain-shaped super. The brain-shaped supernature tends to provide a visual clue about the beneficial qualities of foods, as with walnuts. Its brain-shaped, wrinkled appearance is the only clue one will need. Walnuts are the only tree nut that provides significant amounts of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, the plant omega-3 fatty acid the body is able to convert into EPA and DHA. Though the rate of conversion from ALA into EPA and DHA is relatively low, average of 5 to 10%, walnuts have other brain benefits that make them valuable additions to the brain-enhancing diet plan. Walnuts possess large quantities of vitamin E, which is the gamma tocopherol variety. and has been associated with reduced cognitive impairment in elderly adults. Research has uncovered that consumption of walnuts on a daily basis can improve cognitive function in various domains. In one study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging, older adults who consumed walnuts daily scored better on cognitive tests than those with no nut consumption whatsoever. The brain benefits of walnuts extend far beyond their omega-3 rating. They contain high levels of antioxidants like polyphenol and vitamin E, protecting brain cells from oxidative damage. Antioxidants are able to cross the blood-brain barrier and accumulate in brain tissue, from which they provide protection against damage caused by free radicals continually. Walnuts contain melatonin too, which is a sleep-wake cycle hormone with antioxidant properties. Good sleeping is crucial for the function of memory, and the natural melatonin from walnuts can provide sound sleep that automatically maintains memory. Functions in turn. Walnut protein provides amino acids that are utilized in the production of neurotransmitters. Walnut tryptophan is utilized in generating serotonin, influencing the control of moods and the duration of sleep. To reap optimum cognitive benefits, consume approximately 1 ounce per day, roughly 14 walnut halves or 1 small handful. This will provide about 2.5 grams of ALA omega-3 fatty acids, along with other nutritious elements. Walnuts are easy to incorporate into the diet in several ways. They can be eaten plain as a snack, added for crunch and nutrients in salads, employed in the production of baked goods, or as an addition in smoothies. While more expensive than other oils, walnut oil has omega-3 goodness in concentrated form and is ideal for dressings or simply drizzling over steamed vegetables. Storage is key in ensuring walnut quality is maintained and rancidness is avoided. Walnuts should be placed in airtight containers in the freezer or fridge in order for their delicate oils from becoming rancid. Rancid nuts not only taste unpleasant, but also contain harmful compounds which will negate their nutritional worth. Either ground walnuts or walnut butter can be substituted for entire walnuts should they prove too chewy for consumption. They can be blended into oatmeal, smoothies, or yogurt with ease. Dark chocolate, the pleasurable brain booster. Perhaps no food combines pleasure with cognitive benefits like dark chocolate does. This go-to treat is packed with compounds that can energize the brain as well as delight us, making it one of the most delicious ways of enhancing brain function. Why dark chocolate contains such cognitive benefits is its rich content of cocoa. Cocoa beans carry very high levels of the flavonoids, particularly the flavanols epicatechin and catechin. These compounds have been studied extensively for the effects on brain function and always show very positive effects. Flavanols improve brain function in a number of mechanisms. They improve the blood circulation of the brain through increased production of nitric oxide, which has the ability to relax blood vessel walls and improve circulation. With improved circulation, more oxygen and nutrients travel through brain cells for improved function overall. Experiments have demonstrated dark chocolate is able to improve cognitive function immediately. People who consumed dark chocolate did better on memory tests 2 hours after eating it, according to Appetite, published in a recent report. The long-term benefits of eating dark chocolate on a daily basis are even more impressive. Studies have proven that people who consume cocoa foods regularly have improved intellectual function and slower intellectual deterioration with age. Dark chocolate contains small amounts of theobromine and caffeine, which are natural stimulants, that can improve focus and alertness. Compared with the jitters sometimes associated with coffee, dark chocolate stimulants provide a more subdued, longer-lasting lift of energy. To maximize the brain-boosting benefits of dark chocolate with minimum adverse effects, the correct variety needs to be chosen with the right amount. Go for dark chocolate containing more than 70% cocoa. The greater the percentage, the more flavanols it will contain. Steer clear of milk chocolate, with its lower amount of beneficial compounds and greater amounts of sugar and unhealthy fats. The milk protein in milk chocolate will further prevent the flavanols from being absorbed, rendering them less effective. The optimum amount is clearly in the range of 1 to 2 daily ounces of dark chocolate, providing enough of the flavonols without undue calorie or sugar consumption. The amount has approximately 200–400 calories and should be added into total daily calorie intake. In people who are older with diabetes or who have weight issues, small amounts of very dark chocolate, 85% or more, are helpful with reduced sugar and calories. Unsweetened cocoa powder can also be added into smoothies, yogurt, or oatmeal to introduce the health benefit of the flavonols without added sugars. With dark chocolate, even the time of day of consumption could be significant. In certain studies, dark chocolate consumed in the early evening has been suggested to produce long-lasting benefits for cognitive function, which would be beneficial for evening mental concentration-requiring pursuits. Quality is key with dark chocolate. Use dark chocolate that is derived from superior cacao beans with minimal processing. Organic varieties contain more beneficial compounds and fewer fillers. Green tea, the Zen master of cognitive enhancement in the East in ancient cultures. Green tea has always been as prized as a remedy as it has been as a beverage. Ancient wisdom is now verified through the assistance of contemporary science, which has detected the presence of the special mixture of chemicals with synergetic actions for enhancing the health of the brain as well as for maximizing cognition functions. Green tea has the major bioactive catechins, including the most common one, epigallocatechin gallate, EGCG. The latter of these is one of the most potent antioxidants with the capacity of crossing the blood-brain barrier to provide direct neuroprotection. EGCG has several mechanisms through which it enhances brain health. The activation of microglia is inhibited, and production of pro-inflammatory cytokines is reduced in order to reduce neuroinflammation. Additionally, it increases the production of new neurons as well as new synapses to enable neuroplasticity and learning. Green tea is also full of L-theanine, a unique amino acid which causes relaxation without bringing about sleepiness. L-theanine increases levels of the brain's primary calming neurotransmitter, GABA, and levels of the neurotransmitter dopamine and serotonin too. This creates the alert, relaxed state ideal for memory and learning. In green tea, L-theanine's combination with caffeine is particularly valuable for mental function. Caffeine provides focus, without the jitters usually found with the ingestion of caffeine. The combination also has been reported to improve attention, working memory, and cognitive flexibility. The daily consumption of traditional green tea has been associated with improved cognitive function as well as reduced risk of cognitive impairment. In one large study of over 1,000 adults of Japanese descent, habitual consumption of green tea has much superior cognitive function compared with rare consumption. The optimal amount to gain the cognitive benefits is approximately 3 to 4 cups daily, which is equivalent to about 200 to 300 milligallons of EGCG and 100 to 150 milligallons of caffeine. Such amounts provide significant cognition improvements while remaining within the safe limits of caffeine consumption levels. Brewing can create the amount of beneficial compound in the green tea consumed. Water too hot can damage sensitive catechins. Employing water at the temperature of approximately boiling, e.g., about 175–185 degrees, 80–85 degrees. Steeping it for 3 to 5 minutes will extract all the desirable compounds without drawing too much inessential bitter-tasting tannins into the glass. High-quality loose-leaf teas contain more concentrated levels of desirable compounds, while top-quality tea bags contain notable benefits also. Powdered green tea, matcha, contains extremely concentrated levels of desirable compounds since the entire plant is consumed. In sensitive elderly subjects, decaffeination leaves most of the healthy compounds in the green tea, while the stimulating effects are left behind. Decaf green tea is also available in supplement form, although the entire plant is preferable and is usually less risky. At what time of day should one consume green tea? The uptake of healthy substances is optimized if consumed in between main meals, since foods can slow down catechin uptake of catechins. Even then, turmeric should be taken away from foods containing iron, since it will slow down iron uptake. Turmeric contains one of nature's finest inflammation fighters in the form of curcumin, which has been found through scientific studies of late in the humble root. The principal bioactive compound in turmeric, curcumin, constitutes about 2 to 8% of most turmeric preparations. The polyphenol has been the focus of much research on the brain, with it having some great neuroprotective properties. Neuroinflammation, or chronic inflammation of the brain, is one of the major drivers of cognitive impairment as well as neurodegenerative conditions. Curcumin combats the inflammation through various mechanisms, including the inhibition of the NF-κB complex, which is the protein complex that is responsible for the handling of inflammatory responses. Studies have demonstrated curcumin as able to cross the blood-brain barrier and directly reduce the neuroinflammation. Its anti-inflammatory actions shield the neurons from damage and improve the formation of memory along with cognitive functions, with a better environment. Curcumin further aids in neuroplasticity through the augmentation of the levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which is a protein that initiates the growth and survival of the neuron cells. Higher levels of BDNF are linked with better memory as well as protection from neurodegenerative disease. Evidence has established that taking curcumin daily will improve memory in healthy older adults. As per the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry, one study found that users of the curcumin supplement had notable improvements in memory and attention capabilities over the group taking the placebo. The challenge with turmeric is that curcumin is not very bioavailable on its own. There is, however, several mechanisms which could dramatically augment its efficacy as well as absorbability. It has the active compound piperine, which is able to enhance the absorption of the curcumin up to as much as 2,000%. Sprinkling in even a pinch of black pepper into foods that have turmeric can really make the curcumin bioavailable. Taking it with fats will also allow for enhanced uptake since curcumin is soluble in fats. This is the reason traditional preparation combines turmeric with oil or sprinkles it over dishes with much fat content. Heat, too, can enhance the bioavailability of the curcumin. Cooking turmeric for several minutes will release its active compounds into the body more easily. To gain the full cognitive benefits, consume about 1 to 2 teaspoons turmeric powder daily, always with black pepper, together with a fatty source of food. Adding turmeric is very easy and can be incorporated into curries, soups, smoothies, or golden milk. Fresh turmeric root, while in season, is potentially even more beneficial than powdered form. The root can be sprinkled over food or juiced and drunk for a potent anti-inflammatory drink. Curcumin is also available in supplement form and is taken in larger amounts than is achievable with diet. Take it in piperine or bioavailability enhanced supplement form. Leafy greens, the brain-boosting emerald goodness of vegetables. Leafy green vegetables are among the most concentrated foods in the world for nutrients, with benefits for the brain being nothing short of astounding. The leafy superfoods are comprised of a variety of nutrients that interact together in harmony with one another, and with the body's processes, optimizing brain functioning and slowing down the aging process on the brain. Spinach, which is also known as one of the superfoods, is rich in folate, one of the B vitamin family with significant activity in the brain. Folate is needed for synthesizing neurotransmitters, as well as for maintaining healthy levels of homocysteine. Excessive homocysteine has long been considered associated with impairments of intellect as well as dementia risk. Spinach is also full of lutein and zeaxanthin, carotenoid pigments in brain tissue, where they can provide antioxidant support. The two are able to pass through the blood-brain barrier and have been associated with improved cognitive function in the elderly. Kale is another one of the superfoods, providing excellent levels of vitamin K, necessary for maintaining brain health. Vitamin K is essential for manufacturing the neural membrane molecules, the sphingolipids. Adequate vitamin K has been associated with better memory functioning as well as with less cognitive decline. Swiss chard has the combination of colorful antioxidants like the betalains, which are reflected in the red and yellow color of the stems. The antioxidants provide potent anti-inflammatory action as well as protecting brain cells from oxidative damage. Peppery-tasting arugula is full of nitrates, which in the body convert into nitric oxide. Enhanced circulation to the brain is induced through the presence of nitric oxide, which delivers oxygen and nutrients into neural tissue. Collard greens are full of copious amounts of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, the plant omega-3 fatty acid also found in walnuts. Though with only limited conversion into EPA and DHA, ALA has net anti-inflammatory effects advantageous for the brain. The key to unleashing the brain-boosting benefits of the leafy greens is to consume various types regularly. Ideally, it is necessary to consume at least 2 to 3 cups of the leafy greens daily, blending the various ones for obtaining the full spectrum of nutrients. Raw leaf green leaves consumed in salads provide the greatest amount of vitamin C and folate, as the vitamins can be compromised with heat. Light cooking of vegetables, on the other hand, provides enhanced fat-soluble vitamins and carotene uptake. Cooking methods really do matter. Slight steaming or sautéing will preserve most of the nutrients, but enhance the bioavailability of certain compounds. Avoid boiling, which can leach off the water-soluble vitamins into the liquid. Mixing healthy fats with the green vegetables will maximize the bioavailability of the fat-soluble vitamins and carotenoids. The nutrition of green salads can be enhanced with olive oil, avocado, nuts, or seeds. Smoothies also provide awesome substitutes for salads for elderly persons who may have trouble chewing uncooked leafy vegetables. Combining the leafy vegetables with fruits will mask their taste without sacrificing the amount of nutrients. Frozen leaf vegetables retain most of their nutrient potential and can be as convenient as well as affordable as the fresh ones. They're perfect in soups or stews, or add them into smoothies. Avocados, the creamy cognitive enhancers. Avocados' popularity has experienced a significant boost in the past decade, and it is simple to understand why. Rich, nutritious fruits provide special delight for brain function as well as general cognitive function. Avocados contain monounsaturated fats, particularly oleic acid, which is particularly beneficial for brain function. The healthy fats maintain the stability of the neural membrane as well as enable effective communication of the neurotransmitters. Additionally, oleic acid is helpful in protecting the brain cells from damage caused by inflammation. Avocado contains folate, one of the B vitamins necessary for the function of the brain. Lack of folate has already been identified as causing depression, as well as impairing cognition. Adequate consumption is therefore crucial in general mental well-being. Avocado. Folate is also well absorbed, meaning avocados are an excellent dietary choice. They also contain large amounts of vitamin K, which has functions in brain function in addition to its well-understood function in blood clotting. Vitamin K mediates the biosynthesis of sphingolipids, which are essential neural membrane compounds that enable cognition functions. The fibers in avocados support gut health, which has come to be understood as essential for brain function via the gut-brain axis. A healthy gut microbiome can influence mood, cognition functions, and even the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Lutein is present in avocados too, the identical carotenoid found in leafy vegetables. Lutein is sequestered in brain tissue and has been associated with better thinking function, particularly in terms of processing efficiency and attention. The healthy fats of avocado, along with the dietary fibers and innumerable micronutrients, act together in concert to control blood sugar levels. Stable blood sugar is essential in having steady cognitive function, because the brain is reliant on glucose as the main source of fuel. Research has identified that avocados can improve the overall uptake of food's nutrients. Avocados supplement the uptake of carotenoids as well as the fat-soluble vitamins with healthy fats, and that is why avocados make excellent vegetables or salad additions. To gain the optimum cognition benefits, it is recommendable to have half or one avocado per day. It provides copious amounts of healthy fats as well as nutrients, but is modest in terms of calorie quantity. Avocados are edible in plenty of ways outside of trendy avocado toast. They can be added into smoothies for creamy texture, used as the base for healthy salad dressings, or eaten just with salt and lime juice. To seniors who are concerned about the calories of avocado, remember that the healthy fats that are contained in the avocado form the backbone of brain function and should never be avoided in the diet. The thought is merely to shift their calories into the total diet. Eggs, the perfect protein for cognition. Eggs have been considered nature's perfect protein for decades, but benefits extend far past the necessity of gaining muscle. These foods contain an unusual combination of nutrients, which makes them better for brain health as well as for cognitive processes. Choline, which is found in high concentrations in the yolk of an egg, is probably the most brain-healthy of all the nutrients in the egg. The neurotransmitter largely responsible for learning and memory is the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, and its precursor is choline. Most of us, particularly older adults, do not consume enough choline, so the egg is an important dietary source. The protein in the egg contains all the essential amino acids in ideal ratios. The amino acids are the precursors for neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine. The body requires sufficient protein in order to maintain healthy concentrations of neurotransmitters, as well as maintain cognitive processes. Eggs are rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, the identical carotenoid pigments found in the green vegetables. They accumulate in brain tissue and provide antioxidant protection to prevent aging of the brain. The vitamin B12 in the egg is particularly relevant in the older person, since the deficiency of B12 increases with age because of decreased assimilation. B12 is required for maintaining healthy neural tissue and preventing cognitive impairment. Eggs contain vitamin D, which has recently been recognized as pivotal for brain health. Vitamin D receptors exist all over the brain, and healthy levels are linked with better cognition, as well as reduced risk of neurodegenerative disease. Egg selenium exists as antioxidant enzyme cofactor for protecting brain cells from oxidative damage. Selenium deficiency has even been linked with cognitive impairment as well as with affective disorders. Contrary to the long-standing fear of cholesterol, dietary cholesterol has little impact on blood cholesterol levels in most of us. The brain actually requires cholesterol for proper functioning, since it is one of the key components of the neural membrane. Seek 1-2 eggs per day for maximum cognitive benefits. This provides sufficient amounts of choline along with brain-building nutrients in general. The processing of eggs can impact the nutritional value of the eggs. Poaching, boiling, or scrambling with minimal added fat preserves the most nutrients.